With the United States looking at spending another 4 trillion on top of the 6 trillion whatever they've spent, which will put it at 10 trillion, right? Maybe 37 trillion by the time we're out of here in debt. Donald Trump's plans revolved around a 4% GDP in order to cover just the interest alone, right? So if we can't cover the interest based on our GDP, and our GDP is not going to come back to even 2% for 3 years, then we're just going to go in the hole. So the more money we spend on top of that, the GDP is not going to cover what our interest is. So we might as well say that for every $1 trillion that we're spending, we're going to have to pay $200 billion per year on that debt until our GDP gets up to a point where we can actually pay for our interest. There's no way that we can do that. I don't understand why Donald Trump isn't trying to negotiate with the IMF to sever the interest at this time with the United States and have them pause it. If the IMF is so serious about the world coming together on this, then they need to suspend the interest rates that are on the loans that are out currently by the countries. Otherwise, the loans themselves are so big proportionally. If we were to lose, let's say we only lost like 3 million people, right? Let's say conservatively in the United States, we only lost 3 million people, 30% of businesses were gone, and, we had a 25% unemployment rate, and they had to do a recall on gold and silver just to float the government, right? Let's just say that conservatively, right? Because that's something you can do. With that much loss in the economy, your GDP max push is going to be 1.5. And we're in the middle of a trade war with China, where we've deeply offended China in such a way. We've treated them like the backhand of a dog. I mean, and you can't get the trade war done because the USMCA can't be signed because you're afraid that you might have to shut down the border with Mexico. And I would be deathly afraid of that because right now it looks like Mexico's really on the uptick. And if I was in Mexico and my family might get sick, I sure in the hell would be running for the border. And it's not for Taco Bell, baby. It's for healthcare. I'd go to places like wherever I could fit in. Now you're giving away free money. You're telling me that people that have never worked in their life, that don't collect any money, that aren't working, are going to get money. Homeless people, right? That's good old Barack Obama plan right there. Shovel-ready jobs. Let's give it to the people. Let's give it over to like Italy and France for frickin' windmills. What are you going to do when the call comes in and the man tells you that he's living in a basement, he's got 5 children, he's an illegal alien, and he was counting on food from the school system because he was getting food from there every day, and now that he's not getting food from there every day, he doesn't know what to do, but he can't cross the border to go back to Mexico because everyone's sick down there. You're not thinking about things here, and you're spending rampantly. You know what the worst problem is for fire? Oxygen. This is a big-ass fire. And the only oxygen in the room is the big ox that you're using. It's the currency of the United States of America. And if you're not going to fix the problem and figure out what you're going to do with that interest rate, then why even bother? Your next generation is just a giant turd in the toilet waiting to be cut apart by a butterfly knife. That's right. You ever shoot something out, something that big that you can't flush it? That's what this is going to be like. A giant turd in a toilet. You're going to have to break out your butterfly knife and cut it to pieces before you can flush. And it's going to be like 4 or 5 flushes, I'm telling you. Now you want to make an infrastructure bill. That's just ridiculous. You just wait and see. There's a lot more coming to you. This is the Revelations, buddy. God bless God. In the name of God, Salah.